All right, I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We will start with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the roll call of the board, I don't see Dr. McNeil currently present, so we'll keep him absent until or unless he is able to make it. Adoption of the agenda, I'd like to propose two changes. First, on the consent agenda, item H. At the end of the first line, we need to add the words "and usher services." And under the business agenda, item A1, that item does not require board approval, so we will strike that. Are there any other changes that we would like to make?
Move for approval.
Second.
Move for approval as amended.
Yes, as amended.
And your second one. All right. Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Consent agenda. All of the following items, those items of a routine nature normally approved at board meetings, will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and action on the following items. Items A through VV. Any discussion, any comments?
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Under information reports, we have a USPA report. Or UCTA report. Under hearings and correspondence, any communications? Under opportunities for comments regarding the agenda, anyone signed up for agenda items? No? Moving on to the business agenda, under item 2, consider and take action on the memorandum of understanding with USPA for sign-on bonuses for child nutrition workers that are not classified under the current contract language. Mr. Logering.
Thank you, President Kinnear, members of the board. We are pleased to be able to bring back to you the opportunity to continue our sign-on bonuses. Originally, the money was only good through the end of June, but we have been able to extend that to be able to continue to offer that for this upcoming school year. So with your approval, we would like to do that.
Move for approval. Second.
Ms. Romerman.
Yes.
Mr. Reyes.
Yes.
Ms. McAdams.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Consider and take action on the memorandum of understanding with USPA for sign-on bonuses for extended day workers that are not classified under the current contract language.
And once again, similar to the child nutrition, we were able to get this money extended past the end of the fiscal year, and so we look forward to being able to use this to try to continue to fill our positions for EDP as well.
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Romerman.
Yes.
Mr. Reyes.
Yes.
Ms. McAdams.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Under school operations, consider and take action to award bids for food, bread, juices, chemicals, and paper for the 2022-2023 fiscal year from Child Nutrition Fund and approve associated blanket purchase orders for same. Ms. Griffin.
Yes, good evening, President Kinnear, Dr. Hostler, members of the board. We're just really asking you to consider and approve POs and awarded bids for everything we need this year. It's chemicals, bread, paper goods, all kinds of foods, deliverable pizza. And so we have it broken down into two categories, those that are over $100,000, and that's mainly Springfield, Tankersley, Benny Keith, and Cutting Edge. And the three of those are distributors. One is a juice provider, And then the under $100,000 are primarily different kinds of smaller vendors that we purchase the bread, paper, baked goods, chemicals, and delivered pizza, which is CC's.
Move for approval?
Second.
I won't ask the question what
Yes.
undeliverable pizza is, but you mentioned deliverable pizza.
It's deliverable, it's
Yes,
delivered
yes.
to us.
Versus cooked.
Yeah, okay, got it. Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Consider and take action on the purchase of a software subscription from Panorama Education, Inc. in the total amount of $106,920 from federal ESSER funds. Mr. Pennington?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Kinnear, Dr. Hartzler, and members of the board. Last year, you graciously approved in July a partnership with Panorama Education that we piloted in 3 different schools, Grove, the U67, and the Freshman Academy. This allows us to have a digital dashboard of all of our information, including not only what is offered in Infinite Campus, but also SEL surveys that we give to the kids, as well as our HOPE survey. And what it allows us to do is it allows us to put all that information in one space, so that when we have meetings such as our UBEST meetings or our child study team meetings, we're able to be very intentional with this data. And but that's not all. It allows us to track interventions in that program, as well as give us a robust platform for possible interventions that we use. So other things that it allows us to do is certainly set goals, looking at where we are in our SEL place, measuring our HOPE surveys, what are areas that we need to focus on. And then it also helps us to find students that we would not have found before. One of the things I hear often, we heard from our Freshman Academy that when we gave the HOPE survey this year, that they were looking through students, and when they saw students that had low HOPE scores, they didn't fit all the check boxes. They would be a student who had good grades, good attendance, but may have had something happen in their life that caused them to have low HOPE, and then we were able to intervene. We would have never known that those kids were out there and needed services, but we were able to do that. So this really allows us a lot of information, but being able to intentionally use that to help the well-being of our students.
Move for approval?
Second.
Just a couple of questions
Yes, sir.
on this. And we're very fortunate and to be able to utilize ESSER funds for this. I'm curious, just in our consideration of these expenditures and the next ones as well, are these items that we are essentially blessed with to be able to do this with ESSER funds instead of general or bond funds, or are these programs that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do were it not for the
Correct.
ESSER
Yeah,
funds?
currently we are blessed with the ESSER funds, yes.
So blessed to have that substitute.
Yes,
These
sir.
are things that we had targeted we would like to do anyway.
Yes.
We just now have the opportunity. Yeah,
for other projects as
yes,
well.
Right,
Yes.
absolutely.
very good. I think we have a motion and a second. Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Consider and take action on the purchase of iPads, cases, and charging cables from Apple in the total amount of $338,450 from federal ESSER funds.
Yes, President Kinnear, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board. These iPads will replace some of our aging fleet that we already have that we're using for one-to-one. Now that we're using iPads a little more, we see that some of them get, the batteries start to wear down. They show their age a little faster than they have in the past. So we're in need of replacing some iPads and adding to our fleet so we can have other projects like PLTW, STEM projects at the elementary that require iPads outside of pre-K through second grade available to those students as well in third through fifth when they need them for those projects.
How many iPads do you think we have? Well, you probably know.
In the district, we have roughly about 5,000 iPads in different states of being. Some are utilized by teachers, some are utilized in Career Connect has some iPads at the high school, 9th grade, that they use for their projects. We have employees that have iPads for part of their job, but then most of the fleet is with students. There's about 4,000 iPads that run with our students right now that I actively work with.
So it's about 25%
Yeah.
of student iPads.
Yeah, I mean, we have, like I said, we have about 5,000 to 6,000, somewhere in there. Some of them are sitting, waiting to be repaired, or some of them we haven't surplused yet off our list, that aren't repairable. But between, we have about 1,000 employee type or extra student type iPads that are out there, that aren't K through third grade or not part of the elementary program. But we have about 4,000 that are within the elementary program.
Move for approval.
Second?
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
All right, thank you.
Consider and take action on the purchase of a complete video surveillance system from DigiSecurity Systems in the amount of $884,322.29 from federal ESSER funds. Mr. Borland.
Yes, good evening. This will replace the cameras at the high school, at the 9th grade center, and the 8th grade center. Those cameras are older cameras, not as good a resolution. Not only will it replace the cameras, but at the high school, it's going to add a tremendous number of lenses throughout the building. So almost every square inch of that building will be under surveillance now at some point. The cameras that are still functional, those will be moved back to our warehouse for supply as they die at the elementary sites and the other school sites. Instead of being a site expense, we'll use those to replace in this building as they die out. And the other ones will just go to surplus.
Very good. And I would, again, no doubt we were headed this direction. Does this help accelerate some of the security measures that we might have otherwise been on track to do?
Well, we've left the high school last for a reason, because it's so big. So luckily, the ESSER funds allowed us to actually do that, because that's a significant portion of our bond fund from the technology bond fund. So this would allow us to leverage those bond funds for a couple other projects that we need to do. So it's really helped out.
Very good.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Consider and take action on the contract for outsourced help desk and on-site consulting help from the 22nd Century Technologies in the total amount of $103,680 from federal ESSER funds.
Yes, we're excited about this. This will allow us to have 8 technicians at the start of the school year. It'll be a 9-week engagement from August until October. This will allow us to reallocate some of our existing resources instead of answering phones and just entering work orders. They can actually be in the classroom helping teachers get their issues resolved quicker. So we'll have technicians dedicated to the 4 secondary sites. So it'll be 2 at each of the schools, and then we'll put a 3rd rotating between other sites. Then they'll rotate through the phones and help us answer phones as well as in the classroom.
During school hours?
School hours.
24/7?
No, just during school hours. They will really be answering phones, doing those entry-level, diagnosing the problems, whether or not it's just not plugged in the wall, or if it got moved, it needs to be plugged back in, or
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
rebooting the computer. So that'll be just during the normal hours.
I think it's exciting too, because I know on walkthroughs, we see all the time, like a teacher who's like, yeah, I'm making do because my laptop's not working yet, but I'm on the list, somebody's gonna get here soon, so.
Yeah, we can never staff accordingly for the start of a school year.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the school year would have nothing for them to do.
Yeah.
So this gives us that flexibility that 8 additional people should help out to
Yeah.
drop the work orders down. Our goal is to have all work orders resolved in 24 hours. During the start of school year, we just kind of laugh at that and realize it's never going to happen. This year, I think we're optimistic we may actually be able to hit that.
That's awesome. Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you.
Consider and take action on the bid for the operations loading dock and award the contract to Magnum Construction, Inc. in the amount of $247,742 from bond funds. Mr. Isaacs.
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
Dr. Hartzler, President, Kinnear, members of the board, good evening. This is our loading dock out at our receiving warehouse is in pretty bad shape. I think it's the original loading dock, as a matter of fact. And every year when it snows, we dump snow melt down in there to unthaw it, and we've destroyed it with just salt and ice melt. Not really, but we've done a lot of damage to it. But it's in bad shape. The trucks have hit it as they back down in and knock the walls around. And the landing gears on the tractor trailers get stuck when they try and get out sometimes. And I actually had to help a guy with my pickup get unstuck once. So we're going to rebuild it and slope it differently and make it better.
Is this a project you're gonna be able to start soon, or is this like a year from now?
No, it's a civil project, just concrete and steel, so we're going to start real soon. We might wait till after the school rush, because when we tear out the loading dock, we're going to have to use a forklift to unload trucks, so the warehouse guys might want us to wait till after school starts.
Let's keep the supplies coming.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I
But we're gonna
apologize,
start.
I could have done my own homework and looked at this earlier. Has, we used Magnum in the past for similar type projects, or used them in the past?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Yes, we have. They're our general contractor right now in our innovation lab, so.
Got it, thank you.
Move for approval?
Second?
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Consider and take action on the bid for the district-wide BAS system upgrade and award the contract to Ramsey Systems Services LLC in the amount of $277,068.38 from bond funds.
Yes, sir. So this is a district-wide HVAC computerized control project. Currently in the district, we use control systems that are computerized, but they're all local at each school. A lot of these systems are running on Windows XP and some old versions of Windows. So the goal here is to virtualize it, get it on our network, get it modernized and updated, and also update some of the firmware and hardware associated with the HVAC systems in the schools. The original HVAC BAS system was installed in 2000, and that's pretty much what we're using. We're doing this project, and we're doing some exploration, and we plugged into one of these units at McAuliffe, and we actually lost it. So we had to do some emergency work to get the controls back up to run the chiller, because it's pretty hot outside. So it's very temperamental and fragile, and it's time to replace it. So.
Same question on new or existing service provider?
Existing. He's worked for us. He's a Honeywell service provider. He's done some integration work for us at Grove and at some of the other school sites. So we actually took this project and put a formal bid specification together for it through Henderson and qualified 2 or 3 integrators that we're familiar with and let those guys competitively bid on it. So it worked out pretty well
Very
so
good.
far.
We have a motion.
Move for approval.
A second.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Consider and take action on the bid for the pavement improvement at the UMAC and award the contract to Dunham's Asphalt Services in the amount of $181,729 from bond funds.
Yes, sir. So this is the big UMAC parking lot on the west side of the stadium. With this project, if it's approved tonight, we'd like to do some repairs to some of the asphalt that's out there. We've got some potholes and some subsidence issues and some sub-base issues. And at the same time, we're going to seal coat the entire parking lot. What happens with asphalt is the ultraviolet rays from the sun just destroy it. It just eats into that top layer of your parking lot. And if you don't do seal coat projects now, if you don't take some time and be proactive with seal coat projects to restore some of the asphalt in the pavements, you eventually lose it. It usually starts to unravel, and then you have to replace the entire section of asphalt. So this is a project that we're doing just to enhance and preserve the asphalt that's out there. It's in pretty good shape. It's got some wide cracks in it where it's just separated from time, but most of it's in pretty good shape. So it'll enhance it, and it'll also look nice, because we're going to have to restripe the parking lot when we're finished and do all that work. So
Again, is this a project you're gonna start real soon? Or is this?
This one we have to. We got to get this done
Before
before
school.
football season starts, so, yes.
And did I understand that right? That's the whole parking lot?
Yes, sir, it sure is. The whole old part. So we reconstructed the new section where the stadium is, and it's all that stuff back
Everything
to the
else?
south and
Okay.
to the west. Yeah.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. McAdams,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
Yes.
Ms. Romerman,
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Consider and take action on the agreement with Dewberry Architects for architectural design services related to the 8th grade center cafeteria renovation project in the amount of $287,203 from child nutrition funds.
Yes, sir. So we solicited an RFQ to several architect engineering firms to look at remodeling our 8th grade cafeteria. And we selected Dewberry as the most qualified firm. And they've looked at it. So with this project, we're going to move, with your approval tonight, we would move forward with design in remodeling and enlarging the 8th grade cafeteria, probably replacing a lot of the existing kitchen equipment and building a new servery that's a little more user-friendly. And I think we'll allow Lisa to expand her menu a little bit, I think. But we anticipate it's going to cost about $4 million to do. And it is kind of a long-term project in that we've only got a short window of time in the summer to get some things done in the front before the kids come back. So we got to do a lot of prep work and planning in some of the spaces we're capturing to build and then make that flip in one of the summers. So I imagine if we get this going, this project may take a couple years to finish. Also with the procurement of food service equipment and air conditioning, it's amazing how long it takes right now. So,
Will we be changing the footprint or are we staying within the current footprint?
no, we're going to change it a little bit. There's some space to the east. If you go down that one wing in the 8th grade center, there's some storage space right in there. So we're going to look at remodeling that space and capturing that as kitchen and food prep. Okay, and then hopefully in the front where the kitchen and food prep is, we can turn that into an entire servery area up there. I think that's kind of what we're looking at.
We're not adding new building space.
Right,
Square
yes.
footage. We're gonna recapture part of the old computer labs that are towards the east, behind that cafeteria area.
Okay.
You go in there right now, what you'll see is, they're just on top of each other trying to
Yeah.
fix meals for 1,100 kids. So we need a bigger serving, or a bigger prep area, and then also bigger serving areas.
Move for approval.
Second?
Mr. Reyes,
Yes.
Ms. McAdams.
Yes.
Ms. Romerman,
Yes.
the chair votes yes.
Thank you.
Any new business?
No new business.
Item 7, opportunity for comments from the audience and board members. I understand we have a gentleman that has signed up to speak tonight. I'll go ahead and read the rules while you're making your way up. Rules for this section of the agenda are as follows. Speakers should identify themselves. Each speaker is given a maximum of 3 minutes. Total time allocated to this item is 30 minutes. Under Board Policy 1800, the Board of Education President has the discretion to determine if topics are relevant enough to be heard and to establish the order of presentations. This includes the right to interrupt this section and move on to the next item. That, go ahead.
I think I got all that. I'm not sure. My name's Adam Hare. My wife's been a teacher for 9 years at the 7th grade center. I've got 6 kids, 5 kids in Union. We actually graduated one, praise the Lord. So every other year we'll graduate a kid. So now we've got kindergarten through 11th grade this coming school year. So I'm Joey's neighbor. I don't know if that really helps anything. But anyways, I just wanted to raise a concern. I don't know if the board's aware of this, but my 6th grader came home last semester and said, yeah, a bunch of kids were watching porn again in class on their school laptops. And I said, what are you talking about? That's crazy. These are school laptops. These are from the school. They don't have any security. And she said, no, you just download a VPN, which I had to learn what that is. I didn't know what that is. It's a virtual private network where you can circumvent all the security on your device. And she said, yeah, everybody does it. Everybody surfs the web. They look whatever content they want. And so that kind of scared me. I thought, my gosh, what are we doing if we're
giving these kids devices, I understand when the pandemic started, it was like, we just got to get this stuff out, but now we're over 2 years in, and, I was shocked to hear that there's no security that's preventing them from downloading these virtual private networks onto their laptops. And then it's not just some isolated whiz kid, it's like all the kids. Now, not all of them are looking at horrible stuff, but, at my work, I work over at Asbury Church, I'm the music director over there, but, we have 3 layers of protection. I found this out again from the tech guy over there. I don't know this stuff, but he said, our network screens that stuff out when you're in the building on your work devices. And then the laptop locks you out because you don't have administrative privileges to download these programs or anything. And then thirdly, you can't download any of these softwares without an administrative login and password. So I just wanted to raise that to the board because that's very concerning to me. I understand maybe some grace when this first started, but we're over 2 years in, and these kids are doing this. And luckily, the teacher's addressing it, but the teacher's not there. The teacher's there to teach school, not be an IT technician. And so that's just my concern. And so I wanted to raise that. I also know just that most, I understand kids need to bring laptops home, but I really don't in middle school or elementary school for most days unless it's a virtual day. They're not doing the work as far as I can see, and from teachers I've talked to, they say they're not doing the work there either. But even in that, I understand their own devices, but we're giving these kids devices, and we're exposing them to content that, it's just disturbing to me. So I just want y'all to be aware of that. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hearn. Any additional comments from the board or Dr. Hartzler? All right, I'll move on to item 8, executive session. I'll entertain a motion and vote pursuant to Oklahoma statute Title 25, Section 307B11 to go into executive session to discuss terrorism and safety issues.
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are in executive session.